The MV Lyubov Orlova is a 1976 ship built in the former Soviet Union. It's an ice-strengthened cruise ship, which was primarily used for Antarctic cruises. Due to financial difficulties, its owners took it out of service in 2010. She sat in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada for 2 years with a skeleton crew. After this, how she became the ghost ship of the North Atlantic. Hi everyone. I have an update on the upgrades we've been making thanks to your support either on Patreon or just by watching commercials and supporting the advertiser's product. We now have a new camera set up capable of 4K and a new to us Manfrotto tripod with a great fluid head. We're searching for an editing program that fully supports 4K and still fits within our budget. All this thanks to your continuing support. Decommissioning of the Lyubov Orlova was full of issues, and the ship eventually became a floating derelict in 2013. The ship was named to honor a Russian film star, and the ship was built for the Far East Shipping Company based at Vladivostok in what was the former Soviet Union, now Russia. She served as an expedition cruise ship in the Antarctic, Alaska, and the Arctic. The ship was refurbished in 1999 when it was chartered by Marine Expeditions for cruises to the Antarctic Peninsula. She went into even more renovations in 2002 after she was chartered by Quark Expeditions for the Antarctic and cruise North Expeditions for the Arctic. She ran aground in Deception Island, Antarctica on the 27th of November 2006. She was towed off by a Spanish Navy icebreaker, but made her own way to Ushuaia, Terra Fuego for repairs. Somehow, the ship was next spotted derelict dockside in St. John's, Newfoundland in 2012. She was seized due to debts of about $250,000 owed to the charterer from a failed charter cruise. The 51 crew members had not been paid for 5 months. The ship was impounded in Newfoundland and in February of 2012 was sold to Neptune International Shipping to be broken up for scrap. The derelict vessel had been tied up in St. John's Harbor for over 2 years and was going to be towed to the Dominican Republic to be scrapped, but the tug, Charlene Hunt, towing the ship, had the tow line break the day after leaving the dock. The crew of the tugboat tried to reconnect the line, but was hampered by the 35-kilometer-an-hour winds, that's about 22 miles an hour, and 3-meter waves. That's about 10 feet. By the 28th of January 2013, the ship was drifting slowly eastward off the southeastern end of the Avalon Peninsula in Canada. The offshore supply vessel Atlantic Hawk was tasked with regaining control of the drifting vessel, which was a risk to Canadian offshore oil and gas operations. On the 1st of February 2013, Transport Canada announced that the Atlantic Hawk had successfully gained control of the Lyubov Orlova. Now here's the nasty bit. Once it was in international waters, Transport Canada decided to cut her loose. The ship was no longer posing a threat to the safety of offshore oil installations, their personnel, or the marine environment, in Canada at least. The vessel had drifted into international waters, and given current patterns and predominant winds, it is very unlikely that the vessel will re-enter Canadian waters or Canadian jurisdiction, according to the department. The department further said in a statement giving safety concerns as their reason for not continuing a salvage operation. Since then, stories have circulated about the ghost ship of the North Atlantic. Some say the boat was full of rats, and that to survive, they've had to become cannibals. Others claim that they must be zombie rats. The ship was located on February 4th, approximately 250 nautical miles east of St. John's. That's about 50 nautical miles outside of the Canadian territorial waters. She was drifting in a northeasterly direction. She could have ended up almost anywhere from the Norwegian Arctic to Western Africa, or stuck in the middle of the North Atlantic Gyre. That's a circulation of garbage in a patch. Transport Canada still says that the owners of the vessel remain responsible for her movements, and measures have been taken to monitor the position of the drifting ship. What these measures are, we don't know. On the 23rd of February, according to the National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency, the ship was spotted at roughly 1,300 nautical miles from the Irish coast. A week later, the ship was the subject of news reports in Ireland and Iceland, and a caution to small vessels was issued. On March 1st, Irish media reported that a signal, believed to be that from the vessel's emergency position indicating radio beacon, was received from 700 nautical miles off the Kerry coast, but still in international waters. These devices start transmitting only when they are exposed to water, making some maritime experts believe that the ship may have sunk. The Irish Air Corps continues to monitor the region for this ghost ship. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.